Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm just trying to get started here, and let me see where we're at. Hold on one moment. There we go. All right, let's see here. Want to get. Okay, hopefully you can hear me. Okay. How's it going, Larry? So, for anybody who wants to join on video, I'm gonna copy the link in the detail in the comments here, and you can come on video with me. How's it going, Elizabeth? What's up, Larry? Let's see here. And so we're up here, and I'm trying to see. This is more going to be a Q&A, but from if nobody has any questions, put them in the comments. Put the questions in the comments. See what you have. I'll answer them as openly, as honest as possible. My business is open. I try to be as open as I can with everybody. I try to be upfront with everybody as possible. I do JV deals. I'm in the Metro Detroit area. Obviously, you guys are all part of my group here, so you know where I'm from. But anybody out there on YouTube, if you do want to follow me on YouTube, it's just Randy Steadwell on YouTube, Randy Steadwell on Twitter, as well as Instagram as well. So right now we're streaming live to YouTube, Facebook, our Facebook group, and we're streaming live on Twitter as well. Now, if we have any questions out there, please, like I said, put them in the comments. But I'm happy to answer any questions. So some of the questions that I usually get, and like where I think the state of the market is right now. How do we think it's going to? Um, how do we? Hold on, sorry. There's one guy I was thinking about coming on. So I was having another person come on. Unfortunately, he's too busy at the moment. It was last minute notice, so he's going to be coming on next week. I try to do these every Monday at 8 o'clock. Why don't you guys, come and see me, ask questions, do whatever, shoot the shit, anything you want. Then we bring you in live if you want to ask a question on. If you want to ask a question, how's it going, Jim Richards, man? You're doing good. If you want to ask a question on video, by all means, I'll share the link with you and bring you on board. I just shared the link again. Anybody who else wants to come in, we'll bring you up on video, and you can ask your question. We can talk about whatever you want, real estate related, please, and kind of go from there. So, Patty Sims, you said I had a buyer ask me, was a property I sent him on the demo list. What's going on with that, and does anybody have that list? So it depends on Patty, what city is that in? Are you talking about Detroit? If it is, there is a list that Detroit has, and you can see if your property is on that demo list. Okay. You can also call the city and figure that out. Okay, 482204. And uh, let's see, Elizabeth, how's it going? Thanks for doing this. Let's see, I'm going to post that up here. The question is, can I really find deals at this point on MLS? Feeling discouraged that my offers are all way too low and way too low to actually get accepted. Elizabeth, I'm gonna tell you this. It takes time to get your stuff accepted. It's gonna take lots of offers to get your stuff accepted. The key thing is don't put an offer in if you're trying to wholesale it, or if you're trying to invest. Go by the numbers. If you are trying to wholesale or to invest, stick to your numbers. Okay. Double check, triple check all your numbers. If you stick to your numbers and bring emotions out of it, then you should be good. Okay. But keep in mind your rental budget. You got to have contingencies upon contingencies for your rental budget. If you're looking to invest, if you're looking to wholesale, you have to look at the rental budget for all different strategies just to make sure. So you know who you're going to market your buyers to. Okay. Market your properties to. Ivan, how's it going? So the thing is that if anytime that I've gotten a how should I put this? Anytime I've gotten a property where okay, you know what? I guess I can get that high, and you know what? Maybe I can sell it for a little bit more. It always bites me in the butt. I end up either making very, very little money or no money at all. So, if I get something under contract, if I don't make any money, that's not a good deal, obviously. But I made my bet in I'd rather make no money and close the deal than renege on what I was going to say or what I was going to do. Now, if I have to get a price reduction, I'm going to try and make some money. So that's a little bit different story. There is different ways to get price reductions and go from what you can do. But the thing is that I'm gonna tell you, I try to lock up the deal a lot. Some people's strategy with wholesaling in general is what they do is they lock it up or what they can, and then try to get a price reduction later. I try to think of what I can sell it for in the beginning and have a little bit of cushion room just in case, and so that I don't have to go back for a price reduction later. And I don't like the strategy of let's get it locked up here. Hopefully we can get a price reduction over here. It makes us all look bad it makes wholesalers look bad in general. So I understand that there are times that you need to get a price reduction. That's great. And that's what it's there for. Unforeseen accounts and things like that. So, but make sure that you work your numbers properly ahead of time. Okay. So this is Elizabeth here. Thank you. As a newbie, do you think it's best to talk to a contractor about a rental budget, or can I follow general numbers to start? I have been following Jerry Norton's recommended rental costs, but wondering if they are off. So I would do a little bit. I do a little bit of both. Compare and contrast. Okay. Compare and contrast on I look at a contractor. If you have to pay a contractor to come out there and give you an estimate, by all means, it's worth the $100 or whatever you have to spend to do that. If if not, try to get a contractor a decent contractor that will work with you, and to come out and give you a rough estimate on the scope of work that needs to be done. The thing that I understand, you follow Jerry Norton, and that's great. I follow him too. Okay, so he's a great guy, great negotiator. The problem with in this market with Jerry Norton has a huge buyers list, or he does it himself. Okay, the issue is as a beginner. Okay, as a beginner, it's going to be very hard for you to sell on market deals unless they are significantly under the asking price, and you're trying to sell it significantly under the asking price. That is different, but you're going to have to put up the EMD when it's on market, and you're going to have to put up, you're going to have to get pre-approval, get some sort of proof of funds, things like that. I don't know about you, but when I started, I didn't have proof of funds. I partnered up with somebody who did have proof of funds, did end up working out for a little bit, and then went on my own. The issue that I have is that, I would start off market first, and then if a on market deal comes across you, great. But the more offers you can put out there, the better chance one will get accepted. Run your numbers properly, and don't get emotionally involved. Don't do a deal just to do a deal. You will lose no matter what. Okay. I know this from experience, and I've done it. So as far as, let's see who put this, Shayla, I'm sorry if I butchered the name. Sorry, wrong one. She asked, what is your typical EMD? Honestly, I'm off market. So on all my off market deals, I do not do any EMD deposits. It's a zero, big fat zero. I do no EMD deposit. Okay. Now, if the seller wants an EMD, I may do something with them and see. But for the most part, I do zero EMD. Okay. And I try to work with the customer. My thing is this: I keep the lines of communication open with the seller all times. Okay. As soon as you start to pull back from the seller after you got the contract signed, they're going to think you're trying to scam them. They're going to think something's gone wrong. You keep those communications open with the seller and try to go from there. So it's just as important to keep communications open with the seller before you get it under contract, or after you get under contract, as it is before you get under contract. Okay. Until you get to the closing table, period. Okay. Let's see who asked this question. So Patty asked this: what marketing tool should I use to find a 25 unit complex? I'm going to be honest with you. A 25 unit complex, you're not going to find them on market. Okay. I would pull lists for all multifamily, 25 units and above. You can use List Source. You can use Batch Leads. PropStream is okay. You can try it. Lead Sherpa might be one. There's a bunch of different things out there, and then cold call them. Okay. And go from there. That's honestly the best way. I've cold called. That's how I started. I first started doing mailers, and then went to cold calling. So, and if you do want to join and ask your questions on video, I'm posting the link and I can bring you on video here. That's if you like. It's up to you. And let's see here. So Elizabeth asks this, are you doing any assignment contracts or is it all double closing in this market? I'll tell you exactly how many double closings I've done. I've been doing this for almost 2 years. I've done 0. Everything that I've done is assignments. The reason for that is there's no reason, there has to be a huge spread in order for me to do a double closing or a good enough reason for me to do a double closing. So what I mean by a huge spread is like 50K. Okay, something to make it worth it. My largest assignment so far was 21,000. And but my average assignment fee is 5,000. So I've done an assignment fee for 2,000. So everything is subject to what you want to make on every deal. Okay. Anytime you want to JV with me or get in contact with me, it's right here at the bottom. Okay. You can call me, you can text me, or you can email me. Okay. Email me at randybuyshousesmi@gmail.com. Okay. And go from there. Shayla. Okay. Shayla has this one here. Having a hard time finding accurate phone numbers even after skip tracing. Do you foot knock or just send postcards, letters in those cases? Shayla, I'm going to tell you, it's everyone's issue. And unfortunately, you just have to find good data. That's the answer to your question, is find good data. Places like Lead Sherpa, Batch Leads, doing skip tracing through multiple sources to see who has the best data is going to help you. Using a dialer will help you get through all the numbers faster. I will say that. So if you're just hand dialing, it's great to start out, but if you want to get through it faster, use a dialer like Mojo Dialer, Smart Dialer, or anything like that. Figure out what CRM, customer relations management service you use, whether you use Podio, FreedomSoft, or anything like that. So, yeah, no problem, Shayla. I'm happy to help as much as possible. So anytime you need help on a deal or anything like that, even if you need me to get on the phone with a seller, I'm always happy to do it. I'm going to add Dean on here, and we got, how's it going, Dean?
What's happening? You got me? Audio's good?
Audio's great. Audio's great. Right. Let me real quick make sure.
I want to adjust my lighting. I'm over here like, yeah, all red in the face.
Oh, yeah.
It's, on the camera, and I get a little embarrassed when I'm on screen.
But hey,
just kidding.
Don't be shy. You're all good,
That's good. I was just hopping off one of my mastermind calls, and glad to be here, man. Thanks for the invite. Appreciate
it. No problem. I really do appreciate it. You've always provided some value to me. So this is my Facebook group, Metro Detroit Off-Market Real Estate Group. And I'm trying to provide value to everyone in this group and anybody else who wants to join. And, so this will be a recording that will be left on the group page.
Okay.
We try to do this every Monday at 8:00. And we try to do it, 45 minutes to an hour, maybe a little bit longer, depending on how the conversation goes, and kind of take it from there. I am live streaming this to my YouTube channel as well, and my Twitter account. So just in case, so it's Randy Steadwell on all platforms.
Nice.
So
So what are you doing that for?
Um,
Just for extra exposure, or you're just looking to
yep.
in case they kibosh you?
Yeah. Well, just in case. I mean, the YouTube channel is just just to get extra exposure out there and see whatever happens. If it can grow, great. If not, it is what it is. So, and then, I kind of go from there. But so, what do you think the state of the market is right now? I know I've been to a few of places that you've spoken to, and I get an idea of where the market's at from you. But I kind of want you to go over that with my audience here and
Okay.
everyone here. And what are you, because you wholesale and you're an agent as well.
Yes. Yeah. I've been an agent
And
since for 10 years now. Yeah.
okay. And so why don't we do this? Why don't we go over, you go over a little bit of background just for anybody who don't know you. I'm sure everybody in here knows you. But anybody who doesn't know you, we can go from there. And then kind of your idea of the state of the market right now.
Yeah. Sure. So I'd absolutely be flattered if anybody knew who I was on this group, man. So my name is Dean Gazowski. I'm partnered up with a guy named Don Chamberlain, and we run 3D Property Solutions. So you know, we try to put out those positive affirmations, right, and not be too big headed when we say, well, like we like to think that we're the largest wholesale company here in the Metro Detroit area. Um, wishful thinking, pal. We're doing some deals. We're
Yeah.
definitely doing some deals.
Yes.
I've been a licensed agent since 2012. Bought my first cash flow investment property in Livonia in 2011, and we pushed for that one hard because the tax breaks that you
Yes.
get, the whole depreciation doesn't matter if you've owned it one day in that year, you get to write it off for the whole year. And I'm like, this is why wouldn't we? Let's take
Oh,
advantage
yeah.
of this. So there's that. Flipped my first house in 2012. It was over in Lathrop Village. We were just going after a simple list. People that purchased between 2009 and 12, and we just happened to pick one up, and that. The deal was there. So I've done my team and I. We've done, geez, hundreds of deals. Real estate, regular real estate transactions. Then you combine the fact that we've done, retail or wholesale and house flips, stuff like that. We're starting to figure some things out. We truly are. And,
Okay.
state of the market, let's answer that question. So we track numbers directly from the legal news. Okay. So when the state
Yes.
reports them, we're getting them as soon as we're compiling all that information. And forgive me, I hope I don't have to plug in. I'll let you know if my battery gets low.
Okay.
Actually, I'm just going to handle that while I'm giving that quick explanation.
Okay.
Yeah, forgive me. So as we compile that information, we're looking at foreclosures, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
right now, as a real estate agent, I get to go on a lot of different listing appointments. I see what happens with house sellers. And there's been a couple different theories out there. Like, well, the market's not going to crash because people have equity in their house. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for those of you that are listening and paying attention, chime in if you've heard that. If give me a thumbs up or just a agree yes. If because we're really about participation here.
Oh, yeah.
If you've heard that people have equity in their houses, yes they do, right? So
We're getting some thumbs up here. We're getting some thumbs up, which is great. So,
perfect.
yeah.
So and also what I'm looking at here is as we go on appointments. Back when COVID hit, you see that people were in a situation where they Stop making payments. Now, some of them handled the right way of going after forbearance.
Mm-hmm.
Others just completely quit making payments.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you with me, right? So,
Yeah.
so it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
don't confuse forbearance and forgiveness. Like
Yeah.
they're two completely separate things, right? So
Yes.
what we saw was there was people that after the fact, this is a couple months ago, we had a scenario where we were looking at buying a house in Fowlerville. We ran title, and it was like they couldn't make the payments anymore. It really worked out for just taking over as a subject to type of a deal.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And we're like, yeah, let's do it. Then title work came back. We noticed that there was a lien for a water softener system, and then there was a lien. Like people don't like. Some people just don't read their finance documents.
Right.
Like read your contracts, and if you don't have good comprehension,
Mm-hmm.
get it. Like for real, get it. If you got kids, train your kids how to read contracts, and understand and comprehend. Right, you'll be golden. Right, and plus you're going to save yourself some headaches in the future. So as we're going through this, we see a $5,000 bill for a water softener, and then we find a what's something that's called, and my mortgage or my title guy didn't even see this thing. It was he's never seen it before. It's called a partial claim mortgage. Right? You ever heard of partial claim mortgage?
No, never heard of that.
Well, it's when Uncle Sam comes in and bails them out, the homeowner, because they haven't made payments in 15 months. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk like an old guy, but back in my day, if you missed your payments after 30 days, they're going to start you in the foreclosure process, and then 3 months your sheriff sale, and then 6 months your actually sheriff sale, and your stuff's on the curb, and then you got a 6-month redemption period. But 15 months, and you're still in the house, and you're not even getting any threatening letters. Well, anyhow, his Uncle Sam came along, paid off, entered into a contract with him. $17,400 later, their equity is gone. I literally had to cut my commission as a real estate agent because I was going to buy this house, remember, but I ended up selling it on the open market. But we had to cut our commission for them to sell the house because they were absolutely busted. So I kept the deal together like that. But here's why I even say that, give the story of forbearance, because it's happening. But furthermore, there's foreclosures that are happening. And that's why I bring up the legal news initially.
Oh, yeah.
So as we go back to the month of May, and I'm talking the whole state of Michigan, right? With a large concentration between Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb County, the Tri-County area. There was 1,000 foreclosures that hit in the month of May. Okay. June, same thing, about 1,000, give or take, a few. And then July was 1,250. The only reason July was 1,250 is because it had 5 weeks, and it's almost like they're only processing.
They're limiting.
They're only processing a certain number of these foreclosures in an effort to, and it's all speculation on my part. Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. I don't know if they're trying to suppress numbers. All I can tell you is that back in 2010, which were the oldest numbers I could get to, the foreclosure numbers, February of 2010, you had 6,600 foreclosures in February of 2000. And it was consistent across the board. And that's going to flood a market. Right now, we're just not seeing that. Right. We are seeing extended days on the market. Right. So for those of you that are here looking for opportunity, where do I find the deals? You can go after absentee owns, right? Yeah. That's like entry level irritation.
So I got a quick question for you, because you're an agent, and I've been preaching this, like, in our market, wholesaling on market deals. It's kind of like, for me, you have your list price, you have what you can sell it to an investor, okay, and what I got to get it underneath, what I got to get it under contract, and even what I have to sell to an investor still has to be a good enough discount from the list price.
Yes.
And that's what I found out, at least in our Metro Detroit area. I can't speak for other markets, but what are your opinion on wholesaling on market deals?
Well, number one, you're gonna have to get past the agent.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot of gurus out there that are teaching, yeah, just go to the MLS and make offers. Okay. Go to the MLS, make offers. Well, an agent, you come to me. Let's well-seasoned agent. You come to me and say,
Yep.
I'm going to wholesale your property, in whatever terms you disguise it as. You want to wholesale my property,
whatever it might be.
Under contract. Where's your deposit?
Exactly. Your EMD. Yep.
Maybe you talk me out of it. You know, if I'm desperate. I don't know. I mean, all I can do is, go after, follow the example that Jesus did and teach in parables, right?
Yeah.
So here's a story that I've got about a property that was on the open market, because I am doing this. I'm pursuing properties that are on the market. I've got a criteria that I use. And mind you, people panic if their house doesn't sell in a weekend.
Yes.
Okay. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with my house? What's wrong with my agent? How come? Yeah, it happens, right? So here's a house in Detroit that is on 7 Mile. And there's and I get kids coming in here, so you might get a little bit of background noise.
That's all right.
7 Mile property was listed for $54,000. $54,000.
Okay.
It's half of a duplex. Like, I'm telling you all the vitals of this property. Half the duplex, tenants are paying $650 a month. I'm like, okay, all right. Well, what price do I need to be at as an investor to have that property make sense? How much money? So if they're paying $650, also knowing the fact that a 3-bed property section, just a second here.
Yep.
So 50% rule or 2% rule.
Yeah.
Let's explain what that is real quick. 1% rule basically says that $100,000 house should rent for $1,000 a month. Okay.
Yep.
In this particular case, I've got $650 a month rent. Okay, I'm not even going to talk about Section 8 numbers or voucher or fair market rents. $650 a month. That property should be half that. So what's half of that? What's six? So $35,000. Is that safe?
Yeah.
In this 30, 70, but okay, 700, $35,000. That's what I go after the property for. And we got it under contract for $34,000, month-to-month tenant, and they immediately accepted. And I thought to myself, I'm like, geez, man, we should have asked for a lower price.
Well, the issue you're going to have with that is that nobody wants a half of a duplex in Detroit. They want both sides of the duplex. You know what I mean? So you'll find investors want, at least investors that I've dealt with. Okay, there's a lot of other investors out there that I haven't dealt with. I'm going to tell you that right now. So, and most of my investors that I've dealt with, if they have, because that's just like a townhome. A townhome in Detroit is, worth about 10 grand. Now if it's income producing, yes, there's more because you got income coming in and things like that. I had somebody come to me with a similar type of property, but it was vacant and it needed a ton of work. And, you know, they wanted, I think it was right around the 35 to 40 grand. And I told them, I was like, you'd be lucky if you get 15 grand out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It needs 35 grand worth of work just to get a renter in it.
Yeah, and I think
You
across
know?
the board, that's like you got to
Yeah.
always look at the numbers and figure out what type of work it needs, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
plus the fact that you've got C of O issues that are on nowadays, right? That you're going to have
Mm-hmm.
to abide by, and that's $185 just for the inspection. You get one free, retake, and
Yeah.
and God forbid you're not you get wrapped up into something that's a pre 1978 property that's going to have lead based paint inspection.
Oh
You're
my
going to
God, yeah.
$400 a pop. I mean, so you got to know what you're doing in the city,
Mm-hmm.
whatever city that is,
Yes.
But that's just one example. I mean, we probably landed 10 contracts this week, but 9 of them stuck. One of them
Yeah.
just kind of fell through between retail and actual wholesale
Mm-hmm.
properties. But yeah, man, I mean, the market's kind of heating up because you know that the motivation is there with the sellers. So
Mm-hmm.
get out there, make the offers. I mean, one
Oh
thing I
yeah.
would say to the who's your general audience here? Who watches this? We have a
So
wide
so
array,
we
or
got new wholesalers, new investors.
okay,
You know, actually we had Ivan actually ask a question that he was asking, is it a good time to invest in real estate? He's starting as a contractor slash handyman, but he's worried to do the next step for real estate investment.
okay,
And, you know, my opinion, I have my opinion, but I want to know yours first.
yeah, go for it, go
So
for it.
no, you
Yeah,
go first.
yeah, no, no,
What's
no.
your opinion?
No, that's my advice. Go for it.
Oh yeah,
I
okay.
got so here. I got this shirt today in the. Maybe you can read it. Can you read it there?
Oh yeah, success
So
lies on the other side of the fear.
right. So that's from. We're part of a mastermind over at Bill Allen has got a group named Seven Figure Flipping or Flip Hacking Live. He runs this big event in Orlando.
Okay.
It's coming up in. Did I invite you to that? By the way,
No, no.
you coming? You should come. You
Yeah.
should come down to Orlando. It's in. It's the 15th of this October coming up. Um,
Okay.
but here's the thing, man. There's so much fear driven in the market, but like
Mm-hmm.
fear, like
Yeah.
there's uh, let me change gears on that. Like, is now a good time? Um, Here's what you need to watch: is when what was it, Charlie Munger that said be greedy when people are fearful and fearful when people are greedy.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was Munger that said that. Um, and John Graham has said the same thing. Local real estate
Oh
godfather.
yeah.
He's like Dean. All you got to do is just watch the media. The media is going to
Mm-hmm.
cause the crash.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, well, now you're looking at this stuff, and it's like, yeah, you're paying attention to it. So now interest rates are high. I mean, it's like a Hank Williams Jr. song, right?
Oh
Interest
yeah.
rate, interest is up, stock market's down. You're truly up against opportunity where you just got to know your numbers. And if the numbers work for a flip, you got to be ultra conservative. Like
Oh
we got
yeah.
this one deal over in Farmington Hills right now. My numbers
Mm-hmm.
for my top end ARV is $430,000, and I'm known to be very conservative with my numbers. Okay,
Yep.
I can prove ARV up to 460, but I'm running with 430, and my fire sale number is 400. We're picking it up for 220. It needs 55K worth of work, and if we're all in money costs and everything, 300,
Mm-hmm.
300, and then we get to sell it. But then there's holding, and it's also the
Yep.
$400,000 price point. Now, here's what I can tell you, and here's why you need to be well networked. Like truly, why you need to be. Oh, hang on a second. People trying to get this listing that I'm getting ready to talk to you about. Okay.
Yeah.
So the 400 price point. Now, Farmington Hills versus White Lake. I've got a listing up in White Lake right now, and this is going to answer your. It was Ivan.
Yeah.
Ivan. Okay. So hopefully this answers the question, Ivan. when I wrap it up like this. Regardless of the price point, I've got a listing right now over in White Lake that just hit the market on Saturday. Like that was the first day. Saturday we did open house, had 17 people through. The price point was $375,000. So you're getting the pre-approvals up to $400,000 right in that neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 17 people through on Saturday, 20 people through on Sunday. I'm sitting on probably, that was somebody calling about an offer, and I'm probably sitting about 6 offers on that property, 6 or 7. Now you go back to, 5 months ago when interest rates were like in the high threes. We would have been, probably similar open house numbers, but I would have had at least a dozen offers, multiple offer situations, contingencies. Like the market has cooled down enough where the buyers have opportunity to get in and be dangerous again. And the same thing goes for investors. So the opportunity, you just got to know what you're after. If you're after cash flow properties, know what your exit strategy is. And if you're looking to flip as a handyman, Ivan, go after it and make sure that make sure you're conservative with your numbers, and also make sure that you've got an agent on your side that really knows what they're doing and isn't just picking numbers off of Zillow or agreeing with Zillow's numbers just because they don't know any better.
Oh yeah. No, I completely agree with that. That's to just go by Zillow or Redfin or those numbers. It's, it's completely out there, to be honest. But in my opinion, the state of the market is, you need to get into something. If you're looking to buy and hold, it does not matter what the state of the market is when you get in. It's how long you hold it. Okay. Yeah. And the reason I say that is because there's strategies that you can do all over the place you can refinance, as long as you buy it right with the numbers at that time, then what's the point? As long as you cash flow at the end of the day and you're happy with that cash flow number, okay, and you do the numbers right and you're not losing money, and the longer you hold it, the more you're going to make. Yeah,
we learned that from Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yes.
Right? If
the godfather of real estate.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion. If you're going to buy and hold, best time to do it right now.
I agree.
If you're going to flip, time is against you with the rising interest rates right now. Okay. But it's not to say you can't flip. And it's not to say to do a crappy job. Make sure you do a great job and provide a great product. Just you have to be stingy on your numbers. That's it.
Yeah. So rather than a 70% minus repair, maybe consider 65.
Yeah.
Or, this comes from one of the team leads on a mega team, like a real estate mega team, because we have conversations. What did he say? He said, we're making it 10% is too much. But, figure out about 6 to 8% adjustment when you're pricing, because you don't want to chase the market. Okay. If you chase the market, you're feeling desperate. But if you price a property appropriately, it's going to sell. It's going to gather all the attention. Remember, the market knows, the investors especially know when something's overpriced.
Oh yeah.
Like I've done it. We've put out properties that we got no business putting out there, it's like overgrown and everything else. And
let's just test this out, and see how this goes.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just test it out. And this one guy, I love the feedback, right? And he's like, bro, that's a $15,000 house all day long. What are you doing? And I'm like, get out of here. I know that. You know that. I'm just trying something here.
Oh
but
yeah.
you got to know your numbers. You definitely
Mhm.
got to know your numbers and and execute like that.
So with that, I have two questions that are kind of related.
Okay.
And one's by Shayla and the other one's by Patty. So this one's by Shayla. And is there a good monthly holding estimate? Okay. So I think what she's asking is about whether it be hard money or anything like that, while you're doing construction, whether it's for an investor that's going to refinance out a BRRRR strategy or a flipper. So that's the first question there.
Okay.
And then the second question is, how do you do the numbers on a rental property, getting the cap rate accurately? And that was from Patty. My thing with the cap rate on single family homes don't really matter. The only time, give me 1 second here. The only time that you're going to get the cap rate that is going to matter, in a single family home is when it's in a multifamily. That's really about it. Do you agree or disagree?
Um, I think you're dealing with. I'll look at cap rate. I mean, it's a way
Yeah.
to get a general idea,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
But unless you really like dig down, I mean, like, geez, one of the things we're looking at right now is a property in Detroit. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, am I looking at cap rate on this particular property? No, I'm not. I'm looking at monthly return. In fact, I'm working on getting seller financing with this deal.
Yep.
Um, I'll pay you a certain amount of money per month. I'm going to pay you, you know, 300 bucks a month, call it. All right. I'll
Yep.
take care of the taxes and the insurance, and then I'm going to rent it for 1,400 bucks.
Oh yeah.
$300 a month payment. You got to be crazy. Hey, I'm going to deliver on it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to get your dollar amount that you want. But at its core, how much money do I need to put in the deal? So am I going to look at cash on cash return? Like,
Mm-hmm.
do I need to bring $10,000 to the table,
Right.
and then it's going to return me, 100 bucks a month? How long will it take me to be whole, or what's my cash on cash return? If you don't know the definite, like, I'm not going to explain the definitions. Number one, because my brain's moving so fast, I'm not memorizing that stuff right now. I'm going to look it up online.
Yeah.
But once you know those formulas, they just fly. They just run out real quick. So I'm not going to take the time to go through that right now. Cap
Yeah.
rate is very similar. Another way you can look at and qualify a property, just to give it the smell test, so to speak, is the 1% rule. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we talked about that earlier. If it's a $100,000 house, you can rent it for $1,000 a month. Or in the city, my rule is a 2% rule. So
Mm-hmm.
if it's a $70,000 house, I can rent it for 1,400.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things you need to know is your local rents. So there's a particular website. Um, do you have a chat box you can put stuff in for the?
Yeah, I can put it in here.
Okay,
So
so
what?
huduser.gov slash fair market rents. HUD user, HUD user, USER.gov slash fair market rents.
HUDuser.gov
Yeah,
slash fair
fair market rents.
market.
Okay. Now, what that's going to do is that's going to give you the whole, like, every county in the United States. You can filter down to Oakland County. You can filter to
Mm-hmm.
Wade County here, and that's going to tell you what a 3-bed or 2-bed
Mm-hmm.
or a 4-bedroom or studio,
Yep.
for that matter, is going to rent for or should rent for in your county. Now, what they do is they take the 90% and the 110%, and they kind of average out, and they make 100. They basically find the fair market rents, and rents are growing right now. like as we move through, this inflationary period in life, I mean,
Yes.
it's, rents are going to increase. Okay. Now it's just a
Hmm.
matter of you need to make sure that you're properly covered and certified through the city so you can make sure that you're getting paid. You got to properly filter and screen your tenants. But anyhow, it's getting a little bit more in the weeds than what we need to.
Yeah.
Point is, yeah, you've got your numbers that are important, whether that's cap rate or whatever else, cash on
Hmm.
cash return. You need to pay attention to what your numbers are that work for you and drill down on that and master it and build your portfolio off of it.
Oh yeah, and that's why I tell people, like even before you came on, I was telling people you have to stick to the numbers.
Yeah,
Don't do a deal just to do a deal. You have to stick to your numbers. Otherwise, when you do a deal, just do a deal, or you get emotionally involved, you're going to lose your ass. That's just how it goes. You know, you may get lucky on one or two deals, and you may not, or just break even. But think of what you could have done if you stuck to the numbers.
yeah, you don't want to
You
break
know,
even.
no, and that's the thing is that one thing that I've always preached is if you're in Detroit and you're looking at Detroit properties, and you know this as well as I do, the investors, what they're looking for is an 18 to 20% cash on cash return, and inside Detroit, okay. And the reason for that is um, to help with uh, they're looking to offset the risk.
Sure.
Okay, so in outside of Detroit, in the suburbs, investors are okay with a 12% cash on cash return, you know, or 15% if possible. But for most part, you'll get to the 12 to 13%.
Because that would be a screaming deal if we could find that in the suburbs nowadays.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like all the deals that we analyze, like true,
yep,
with vacancy
oh
and
yeah,
management and all the necessary bills like the holding costs. You
yeah,
got the girl that was asking about holding costs. That's what she was asking,
yep,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've got depending on how you write your lease. I mean, you've got
Hmm.
water, or the tenant pays for the water, or the tenant pays for whatever utilities. I mean, it depends on how big the
Right.
building is, or if you're just doing single family. But I mean, you got to watch your numbers and figure out what you know. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
digress.
So, that's the thing is that, that's one thing I've noticed is that a lot of people think that uh, the numbers in Detroit are similar to what they are in the suburbs. And, oh, yeah, it's an $80,000 ARV. I can ask $60,000. Well, if it needs 15 to 20 grand worth of work, which a simple carpet paint,
Yeah, for
remodel is
sure.
going to need about that.
Yep.
And if anybody says it's going to need only 5 grand, hasn't done any work in themselves at all. So,
What's a gallon of paint cost?
exactly. I trust me. I learned that the hard way redoing this room. I had to repaint it.
Yeah,
So,
got some
um,
lines to cut.
yeah, and it's just crazy. But going through that, you even at the end of it, you still can't be at ARV. The the investor has to have a nice cushion that if they decide to sell later on, that they'll have it, but mainly that they're either going to hold it or whatever they can do. They got to make money.
Sure.
Um,
And don't lose sight of your selling expenses.
yeah.
So when I'm sitting down with as an agent, sitting down with a regular seller,
Hmm.
you got to understand that you're going to pay your agents. And for crying out loud, and this is not the real estate agent in me talking, this is the
Yeah.
investor. Don't undercut your agents and make them cut their commissions. Okay.
Right.
You will get subpar performance if you're beating people up. And truth be told, if you're trying to beat somebody up on 1% of their commission,
Hmm.
well, what's 1% on $100,000 house?
Right.
$1,000. So now we
Yeah.
get to the commission talk. What's your selling cost as your I mean, these are holding costs if you got a flip
Mhm.
property. You got 3% for your selling agent,
Yep.
3% for your buyer's agent, plus
Mhm.
2% for your transfer taxes and your title work. So figure on 8% selling costs. That's going to
Mhm.
get you close to sell the end property. So when we're doing our 70% minus repair, understand that it's not a full 30% of profit, because
Mhm.
in that we got to figure the 8% I just talked about,
Yep.
plus your money costs, whatever that amount is.
Yep.
A lot of people like 2 points, 12%. That's what we're seeing right now.
Yep.
And then whatever other holding costs that you're going to have, utilities and the heat and everything else,
Yep.
it costs money, especially going in winter. Then if you can make 12 to 15% on a property, you're doing
Mhm.
good. If you can make more, obviously that's great. But I mean, that's what we're seeing. That's what
On average, the number that I usually use is anywhere from 9 to 11% to sell the property. That's to sell it.
Yep.
So um, that includes all your commissions, your closing costs, and that includes any emergency things that have to get done to the property.
Yeah. It's fail safe money. I'm with you.
Fail safe money. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll calculate stuff like that in like 9%, for like
Yeah.
concessions or stuff.
I usually go 9% for the higher tier
Yep.
and 11% for the lower tier. You know, um, I, so with that, I have to account those for my numbers. And I've been doing, for some of my investors, I've been calculating 75% minus repairs, minus all of that. And I try to give a little bit of a buffer because of that.
Hmm. You said 75%.
Yeah.
Time to make that adjustment, pal.
Yeah. I've been hitting down to try to get to that 70, to be honest.
Yep.
Um, but everybody is still trying to get to that 85%. And I'm
What if
just
it's like
telling
a
you, it's
rental?
not there.
Like if it's a rental property or something?
No, it's like other wholesalers that I JV with, they're trying to sell it for that, 85% minus repairs, all that. And their minus repairs is not what true minus repairs are.
Yeah.
So um so I've been coming to that, and I've actually been on the phone with some newer wholesalers where okay, great. Let's see assume your numbers are correct. Let's do the math right now. And I did the math, and I'm like, the price you have it under contract and the price you have to sell it for minimum is there's $2,000 difference. Now, are you going to do this for $2,000? Probably not. So,
Can we talk average wholesale fees, what they should be?
yeah, what is your average wholesale fee?
Um, Last year, we were like $9,500.
That's awesome. I'm open and honest about mine. My average wholesale fee has been $5,000. So, um, I tried to shoot for that 10 as much as possible. But we've been hitting about 5.
Yeah. Time,
And
time to push on that.
yeah,
Like, because here's the thing. There's we're not taking advantage of people. All right. There's no
no.
room for scumbags. The scumbags are going to get weeded out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You have a highly refined skill set that you can bring to the table. Now, if you're going to sign your name on the dotted line, you're going to tell people, like, don't misrepresent.
Nope.
Okay. Like, if you are going to wholesale this deal, you're going to bring in some of your partners. Tell people you're bringing in your partners. If you're going to close on it, then you close on it. Come up with your
Yeah,
money. You know. Um,
most definitely.
yeah. So that's yeah. I want to touch on that real quick. So anytime I'm on stage, like,
Yeah.
we're not scumbags.
No, we're not. And that's why I'm trying to provide this here to help newbies get through this process and understand, like, hey, this is the right way to do things, and don't tie it up here when you only can sell it for here, and then ask for a price reduction. Okay, that's what gives us a bad name. That's what gives wholesalers a bad name. And honestly, that's what's going to lead to legislation actually wanting to do wanting to actually monetize, or not monetize, but
Ban
what's
the
the word I'm
wholesaling.
looking for? Ban the wholesaling. Yes. So in my opinion, that's where we need, and that's the reason why I'm doing this actually. So I have another question here. This is from from Elizabeth, and it says it's really hard as a newbie to pull the trigger on an investment property because of the lack of confidence in the numbers. Even with following what you learn and study online, you never really know. Oh, you'll get what you're assuming for rent. I can tell you, in my opinion, that is completely true. The only thing you can do is be as conservative as you can and double check, triple check your numbers. If you can, ask somebody else to check your numbers that you trust. Do you agree?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the importance of having a mentor in the business, right?
Yes.
Here's a shameless coaching pitch, right? So out of the Troy RIA, the Michigan Real Estate
Mm-hmm.
Investors, I'm one of the coaches out there, and we field those questions all the time. You're specifically talking about rents. We dropped the website earlier. Like,
Yeah.
go right to fair market, HUDuser.gov, fair market rents. Okay,
Yep.
that's going to tell you what your rents are. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now allow for a little bit of exception if you're dealing with war zones, you know. But on the other hand, one thing when we're determining ARV quickly, because when we just want to go ahead and just like snap off, 200 offers a month,
Yep.
within the team, we're not running comps on everything as agents. What we are doing is we're running an algorithm, um, and that's we'll take Zillow, like don't shoot. We'll take Zillow, we'll take Redfin, and we don't take Zillow and Trulia in the same mix because they are the same company, the numbers are
Mm-hmm.
the same, but we'll take Redfin, Realtor, and Trulia, or Zillow rather, and then average those out, and then
Yeah.
spit that number out, and that should get you close. From my experience, that's going to get you close to what the number on the ARV should be, and then
Mm-hmm.
you can run from there. So if you don't have access to the MLS, that's what you do. And if you're concerned about rents, just go to HUDuser.gov, and then a rental meter helps too, but you got to ultimately buy if you use it too much.
Yeah, so Rentometer for me, like you can get it for so many times free per month, and that helps. I've never paid for it to be honest. So
You called it rentometer.
yeah, Rentometer. Sorry,
We talked about
Rentometer.
comprehension earlier. It's not that part anymore. We're just going to move on.
Exactly. So, but that's the thing. Like for me, knowing your numbers in a deal, I understand as a newbie, it's hard to pull the trigger and to do things, but stick to the numbers. Talk with, again, like you said, mentor. Talk with a mentor about it. Keep going, and just the more you take action, the better you will get. And this is one thing I didn't learn until I started. It took me a while to actually get things going and to take action. Once I actually started taking action, I learned so much on the fly. You know,
I
I
did too.
I cold call. Oh, okay. You know what? This worst thing they can do is say no or F you. You know, what are they going to do? Come to my house and beat me up? No. You know,
Better not if you know
so
what's good for you.
exactly. So, but that's the thing. Like you learn by doing, okay, and as soon as you do and then something's wrong, you adjust. Then you adjust and you keep adjusting, until you get it right, until you get it, get something going. So my opinion is you you keep moving forward in everything that you do, and you look at the past as things to learn from. That's it.
Yeah.
You know.
You've got a really good I guess presence here. I'm looking at some of the folks in the chat. Larry's over here spitting out some good advice. Like,
Oh yeah.
he's like, man, just you got to know your area. Like, you got to know.
Yes.
I mean, that's confidence, right? And
Oh
then
yeah.
Jay, I don't know if he's showing off his muscles.
Oh yeah.
Where's the
Jay.
picture,
Jay
Jay?
with the muscles there.
Come on, Jay.
Come on. So
You want to arm wrestle? What's going on
I
over here,
love
man?
it. I love it though. Jay's awesome though. So.
I don't think I've ever met Jay Jones.
Oh, really? No, he's actually one of my buyers too.
Okay,
So,
cool.
which is good. But he's a great guy. Honestly, great information. Like great guy to get information. He actually has a YouTube channel as well.
Okay, cool.
So, and so if anybody wants to see him, look him up. He does some buy and holds. He does some flips, things like that. So,
Yeah. So Jay, if you're still listening, drop the drop. Can we drop links?
yeah,
Drop a
yeah.
link, man. I'll subscribe to your page, man.
Yeah, Jay, type in the link to your YouTube channel, and anybody else who wants to drop the links where they want, and by all means, go right ahead.
Yeah. So
I
that's what I was
there
saying.
you
I mean,
go.
it's a good community that you got going on over here. You got I mean, good. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of people watching, right? And I can appreciate that. That's good. So I mean, you're a good resource for the community. You know.
So yeah, I appreciate it, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get I'm trying to get to the point where people can come to me for information, things like that. But also, this is I wanted a platform for everybody to kind of get together and help each other. And to be honest, what really inspired me is a guy by the name, and I'm sure you know this guy, Pace Morby.
Yeah,
You
he's going to
know,
be at Flip Hacking Live with us. Yep.
oh yeah,
Yep.
Pace Morby. He is awesome. I'm not in his mastermind. I wish I had the money to join at the moment, but um, you know, he's a great guy, and he inspired me actually to do this Facebook group in this way. you know. So my man Khalif Williams actually pushed me to actually start the group and gave me the means to actually start it, and show me how to. So I got to give props to him to actually help me start the group. But in who inspired me as far as the way to make the group, as far as the way I want it to come out, is Pace Morby. You know, so 100%.
Yeah, Khalif is. I've known him for a little bit of time, but he's one of those guys you can trust,
Oh yeah, most
right?
definitely.
He's
So
he's come out to a couple of our different masterminds that we do. 'Cause we'll do. Oh, you've been out to a few,
oh yeah,
um, but yeah, he sticks around. Yeah, we stuck around one night late. It was probably
hmm
another hour and a half afterwards after we were done. That's when the
yeah,
good stuff comes out.
oh yeah, yeah. He's a great guy. I've done quite a few deals with him, and that's the thing. Like I just want to meet people, have a great time, do deals with people I trust. So and kind of go from there. But I think we're at about an hour and 10 minutes with this, and I think it's about time to wrap this up. But I really appreciate you, Dean, coming on this. last minute. I know it was last minute and getting you on here, so I appreciate you coming in after your mastermind. So, you know, Ivan, anybody who contributed questions, Ivan, Elizabeth, Shayla, Larry who came in here, Jay, I appreciate y'all for coming in here and, asking the questions and getting the engagement and things like that. So if you are watching this afterwards and just watching the replay, hit the like button, put your comments in, and go from there. All right. Appreciate it, Dean. And you want to give a shout out to anything you have going on, your 3D property solutions, your mentorship or anything like that?
Yeah. So we're readily available. All right.
Yep.
We've always got deals. I see Al's watching over here. We've done some business with Al. He's a player, but we've got 3D Property Solutions, the YouTube page. We're working on building that one right there. Normally the type of content that I'll put out there is, just if I got some general thought process, or particular deals that are popping up. So 3D Property Solutions on YouTube. That's where you can find us. You can find me on Facebook, right? Connect with me on Facebook. Send me a friend request. Send me a message too. Let me know that you found me on the show. That way we know that it works, and I can maybe, if I'm invited to come back, I will. But
you're always invited. You have an open invitation anytime.
Let's do it again, man. Like maybe like Monday, I'll be down in Orlando, real soon.
Okay.
So Flip Hacking Live, we're gonna get to hang out with Pace because he's gonna do I imagine he's gonna come in and do a little bit of a meet and greet with us. But it's part of our mastermind group, and then but find me on Facebook. Let's connect on Facebook. Let's do some deals. We've always got something going on. Like really in these 10 contracts that I've got to move them somehow. And if you guys are hungry for deals, we're always looking. So you can find me on my buyers list, but the way to get on the buyers list ultimately is just email me. My email address is how can I put it in here somewhere?
Yeah, you can put it in the chat.
Oh,
just write in the chat.
Is this private chat comments? Comments? Dude, what do you got going on here? Look at this thing. I'm not tech savvy.
Oh man.
Put it now.
Yeah, this is just something I'm trying out, So
yeah, I'm not finding it, pal. Can you type it for me?
You know what? Yeah, let's what's the email?
Dean, DEAN.
Yep.
At dddhomebuyers.com.
3 Ds or 1 D?
3 Ds in a row, plural, 3D homebuyer. dddhomebuyers.com. Yeah, so Dean at DDD
Gotcha.
Homebuyers. Yeah.
There we go. So, we're meeting here on this group every Monday at 8 p.m. Okay. Anybody else it's going to be the same type of format who wants to come on, ask questions, do interview style. Hopefully I'll have some other people, send up or lined up or anything like that, and kind of go from there. I just typed in Dean's email address in the chat for anybody who wants to see it, and kind of go from there. So the Flip Hacking Live, when is that? That's October 15th?
Yeah, 15th, 16th, or 14th, 15th, 16th, or something like that. You can find it. Just Google Flip Hacking Live 2022. Okay. There are still tickets available. If you are going, let me know. Find me, and we'll connect. Like if you can make, I know you just got back into town, but if you're in the market to go, let's figure. I mean, you're just going to blow your business apart. Like I said, Pace is going to be there. And he's going to share some of his. And we got a local player by the name of Phil Blake who's going to share some insight on building business credit. It's a little bit higher level stuff. But the stuff that you learn from stage is ultimately about running an actual business, not doing the one man or one woman show type of a thing. but truly, building a big business and
Yeah.
creating generational wealth. Because, it's like, one last thing, I know we're running long, but
Mm-hmm.
I was at a house the other day. Like, we have got to figure out ways to set our families up for financial future.
Yeah.
um, I'm sitting on the step. I'm getting a contract extended on a property for one of these flip
Mm-hmm.
houses that we got, or wholesale property that we got going on. And as I'm sitting on the steps in the city with this lady signing the extension, she starts talking about the house across the street and how they own it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's vacant. Nobody's living in it. Everybody's living in the house that they're living in. It's an upper
Mm-hmm.
lower flat, and I'm like, well, why don't one of your kids buy it? Well, because they're like, there was a lot of different reasons. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it ultimately boiled down to trust. There's no trust in the
Mm-hmm.
family. Okay, so financial responsibility. You got to take it. You got to figure out a way to organize
Yep.
your life. You got to figure out a way to acquire income producing assets. Because if you don't, you're going to be living off the government one way or the other. I'm not taking a
Yep.
shot at anybody. What I am telling you is that, looking back at COVID, when they shut you down and told you couldn't work,
Yeah.
what were you doing? Relying on the government to tell you
Yep.
what you can and can't do. All right. And I'm not going to make a big political talk, but when you take away control,
Mm-hmm.
when control is taken away from you and you don't have any financial means to provide for you and your family, then what?
Yep.
Then people start acting crazy. Why do you think
Mm-hmm.
there's all these food production programs? Why do you think the government provides housing and provides food for the people?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they can keep them somewhat appeased and provide for them and take care of them, right? Because some people just are not able to produce. But
Right.
one of the reasons why we're doing these programs and we're reaching out to the community is to let you know that there are ways out here that you can produce. Okay, but wrapping
Mm-hmm.
it back around full circle to the story that I'm talking about on the steps, this lady's like, no, none of the kids can buy the house. No, no, they can't buy the house. I'm like, not even like a land contract or just make payments. No, because people have perpetually screwed each other over, and there's no trust in the family. And
Yeah.
then nobody's gonna. So now I'm gonna pick this thing up for pennies on the dollar
Yep.
because there's a breakdown in the family unit. There's no
Mm-hmm.
trust. Therefore, there's not going to be any financial gain moving forward. And
Yeah.
that's your job. Like, if you got kids, it's your job to train them up. It's your job to
Mm-hmm.
train your peers up, take care of your community, right? Maybe you don't have kids.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you've got just people that rely on you. Maybe you don't have anybody that relies on you. Reach out, go sow into somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Let somebody else know that you believe in them. And that's going to create your community. And then you're going to grow stronger. And then next thing you know, you're going to start JVing deals and working out stuff. And bam, income
Oh yeah.
producing assets.
When
It's
you're
like
around
your
negative people, I'm going to tell you this. When you're around negative people and you're around people who try to limit themselves and limit others around them, you're going to be limited. Whether
no
you
doubt.
think so or not, you think you're open-minded and this and that, but when you're around limited people who want to limit themselves and limit others, you're going to be limited. And that's just how it is. It's just it goes back to, I know it's kind of weird, but if you take the 5 people that you're around and you average their income together, you probably make somewhere around that,
Like within 10%, man.
within
Guaranteed, like
10%.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
Don't hang
You
around
know,
wage.
yeah. So for me, I don't go to my friends and say, hey, what do you make? This and that. But I try to be around people who push and strive for excellence and for that eager and hunger to achieve more. Because guess what? I want to achieve more for my family. I don't believe in any type of retirement, a 401k or a government giving me a pension or anything like that. This is going to be my retirement. My end goal is to have rental properties, and that is what I'm going to be retiring on.
Yeah,
You
build the
know,
portfolio.
Exactly. So that's my angle. Now I have to wholesale first in order to get to that, but I will,
Yeah.
you know.
So real quick, Pace Morby, we know that this is the subject to
Yes.
guy, right?
Yes.
Seller finance, lease options, whatever you want to call them. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
seller financing is what it's called.
Yep.
Right? There, there are so many options out there. I'm going to go ahead and encourage you to, like, if you can't get out to the event. Didn't come on here to make a big pitch for Flip Hacking Live, but if you can make it down. I mean, truth be told, it's going to be a $1,500 trip for you with airfare and tickets and everything. Tickets are
Yeah.
like $600. I can still have discounted tickets available,
Mm-hmm.
like $200 off the sticker. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the association, the insight. You're going to meet a lot of other Detroit players out there in the real estate
Yep.
business, and those relationships will transcend out of that community and right back up here. And
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
that's where I met, people like Phil Blake and people like actually the Meninos,
Mm-hmm.
Mike Senior, Mike Jr. and
Mm-hmm.
Senior. That's where I met him first time. And we started
Mm-hmm.
talking. And he's like, "Oh yeah, Wendy Penn. I know Wendy." And you want to know the real kicker?
Huh.
Right? I was talking with name dropping like this. There's some people that just don't appreciate or even know how big of an influence Wendy Patton has on this world,
Right.
especially when it comes to the investor community. There are
Mm-hmm.
people that are speaking on big name people that are
Mm-hmm.
speaking on stage that have taken a ton of influence from Wendy.
Oh
And
yeah.
Wendy's right in our backyard, and that's her investor club over in Troy.
Yeah.
And I'm one of her coaches, for crying out loud.
Oh yeah.
I'm nothing special.
She's a great person. Great person. And huge to learn from. I listen to her every time I go to the meetings. I see you there all the time.
Yeah.
And at every one of the meetups, I try to get there as much as possible. And Wendy Patton is truly a person you can learn from. So 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Catch us on the next event, swing out third
Yep.
Thursday of every month. That's when we hold those meetings.
Yep.
And,
So
do those masterminds that we do on occasion. I don't have the date for the next one, but it'll be sometime in probably the 20, whatever the Wednesday after the, probably just look at a calendar and set the date right now. Can we do that? Can we set a date on the fly?
oh yeah.
Hold on a second.
So what's funny is that this person that came in here, Annie O'Connor, said we had nothing inspiring to say. Well, I really am truly sorry that you don't feel what we say is inspiring, but I'm going to say that hopefully it's inspiring to somebody,
How would you like
and
us to
hopefully
inspire you?
exactly. Let us know, and let us know how we can inspire you. We'll do our best as much as possible. So, um, on that, when do you know any meetups that are coming up this week? Oh, thank you, Mike. I appreciate you saying that I inspire you. This is probably directed towards Dean, but I appreciate
I'll take no
it.
credit for this. How about Wednesday the 19th? You know what? You're looking for a date. You're fishing over here. How
Yeah,
about Wednesday the 19th?
Wednesday the 19th.
You know what? No, I take that back. Nope. Wednesday the 26th. Let's do that.
All right,
That's
Wednesday
when
the 26th.
I'll hold my next mastermind. It's an open forum. We held it over in Novi, and you got my email address. Wednesday the 26th. If you're interested in doing that, I'm going to put that in the marker right now. Mastermind. Typically do them at 6:30 in the evening in Novi.
Awesome. So I will definitely be there, to be honest. So I will see if I can make it down to Orlando. I'll have to see because I just went on a big trip and I got to see what I can do.
Well, at least you look refreshed. You're good.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. So You know, I appreciate this came from, you know, this came from Mike Mukhtar, which is, you know, he's a good person here. He said we inspired him for the short time he's been on. So, and then Mike said both of us inspired him. So, yeah. So that was awesome. I'm glad to have had you on here, Dean. It's been awesome, and I hope to have you on here again.
Yeah, let's do
So
it again, man.
most
Appreciate it.
definitely, you enjoy your time down in Orlando. If I don't get to go, let me know how it goes. All right. Hopefully I can, and I'll let you know if I do. All
I'll shoot
right.
a couple lives down there and tag in them.
Most definitely.
What that? What that?
Oh yeah. All right. Well, with that, everyone have a great day. And we're gonna end this broadcast and kind of go from there. If you have any if you have any comments, leave a comment. If you want to JV, my number's here. My email's down at the bottom. Randy buys houses mi@gmail.com. You can call me at 586-307-4765. How can people get a hold of you besides the email that we provided in the chat, Dean?
Me?
Yeah.
What, you want a phone number? Is that what you're looking for?
You can give out your number. You can give out your
Here's my direct
Instagram. You
line.
can.
All right, you're here. Oh, my boy Mike's out there. Mike's coming out to Flip Hacking Live. Look at him.
Oh man, that's
Mike
awesome.
Aziz. I couldn't believe it. That was like, I was excited. He calls me up. He's like, hey, I'm trying to book my ticket. I'm like, no way, dude. No way. So here's my phone number. You got it handy. It's 248. Actually,
Yeah.
I got a chat going on over here. 248-940
Mm-hmm.
1099.
Awesome.
That's my office line. It doesn't get any pictures, so don't send me any.
No dick pics.
Patrick, what's up, dude?
So that's awesome. Patrick is awesome for joining, you know, a little bit later, but it's all right. Rewatch it afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, by all means, let us know. Do you have an Instagram or anything? No Instagram?
Do I look like I have an Instagram?
Hey man, I've
I don't
seen
know.
I've seen older guys on Instagram than you.
My
So
prime. You call me the Doc Holliday of real estate. No Instagram. I probably do have an account, but no, it's Facebook and YouTube for me, man.
Yeah, you know who I see on where is it? What's the dang app? TikTok. You know what I see on TikTok all the time?
Who's this?
Mike Aziza, M1 Realty.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
He's a baller.
He's an awesome guy. I always see him on there. Great guy. So, but with that, we're going to end the broadcast, and you know, you guys have a great one. And Dean, it was great. Talk to you again next time. All right.
Catch you guys soon. Thanks, man.
Bye.
See ya.